The meetings between Iran and United States have ended in Geneva, and the details about the conclusion of what was agreed upon or what was not agreed upon is not clear. But what we can pick out is there's no deal. For the reason that what Iran have said they would not subscribe to, they would not agree to, was what was on the table. One of them is to stop nuclear enrichment and to hand over the enriched uranium in Iran to the United States. And Iran said, no, that's not going to happen. And also, the United States wants Iran to limit ranges of its ballistic missile. And again, Iran said, that's not going to happen. So, what next from here? Will Trump order a strike on Iran? Well, it's interesting to know how we got here. Before now, Iran had what we call the JCPOA, that's the Joint Comprehensive Pact of Action, that involves the US, European allies, and Russia and China. They were all involved in this deal. This deal was struck under the US former President Barack Obama, and it allows extensive inspection of Iran's nuclear program. And part of that agreement is that within certain timelines, sanctions will be rolled back to allow Iran have access to some of its assets that were locked in, particularly its money locked in Western banks. So under Obama, Iran have a bulk of its cash. And like many Americans will insinuate that these monies were handed to, or American monies were handed to Iran. That's not true. These were Iranian cash stocked in the banks in the United States and across Europe due to the sanctions. But when Trump came into power in his first term, that agreement was completely torn apart, and the US withdrew from this agreement. And mind you, in this agreement, you have the UN inspection team in Iran, within the Iranian facilities that continues to inspect Iran's nuclear program, even until June 2025, when Israel went ahead to take out some members of Iranian security team and some of its scientists. So that made Iran to chase uh, the IAEA chief out of Iran. Yeah, because before that strike, uh, Post, who was the IAEA, heading IAEA in Iran, he went on media to make some statement about that, to accuse Iran, even as he knew very well that this was not in any way gearing towards production of nuclear weapon. But still, he insisted, he more like some kind of CIA and Mossad narrative, that he went up to accuse Iran of trying to play some kind of fishy game. And Iran have made this very clear all from the start that it's not looking to build no nuclear weapon, for the reason that it is against its doctrine. And in fact, a fatwa has long been passed by the Ayatollahs that it's not looking to build no nuclear weapon. And that, in fact, is exactly what is stopping Iran from having any nuclear weapon. It described nuclear weapon as an evil weapon that no human should possess, and it is strictly against it. But all these falls on deaf ears in the West, and no one in the West just want to see this. They just want to care about their narrative, continue putting forward, oh, Iran is enriching uranium, and yes, Iran is enriching uranium, but it is not. It has no nuclear weapon. It is not looking to that direction. It does not need it, like it said. So its enrichment is solely for civilian purpose, which it has the right to do. And asking Iran to abandon all these nuclear programs that it for decades and in several locations that the United States and Israel have decapitated a lot of its scientists for this particular purpose, and you want all of a sudden to just give it away and send it to the United States? Oh, come on. That is a pride. That is a pride for Iran. And to give it away at this moment would be a slap on the Iranian faces for the achievement, or for what they had achieved paid paid dearly for the past decades. That's not going to happen. And the exchange that happened in the 12-day war was actually a blessing for Iran. Painfully, they got some of the scientists and generals taken out, but it serves as a ground to really test Iran's capabilities. For the past 3 decades plus that they've been building missiles, there were no actual scenario to test this. And that June war actually provided a premise to test these weapons. And they have seen how much they can achieve with the weapons, where they are lacking to beef up, which they're doing right now in collaboration with Iran, with Chinese and the Russians, and they're doing pretty much well. And I believe that served as a ground to learn a lot of things, and which I believe Iran have put most of those into practice, and which we may be seeing in if there happen to be uh, a war, which may likely happen. And that perhaps is the reason why right now Israel is crying all loud about Iran's missile, that it needs its missile ranges to be limited. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't, because Iran have no air force. I would say, even if they do, I mean, it's not what you call an air force to really pose any threat or to defend the nation's airspace to the extent that should be expected against adversaries like I, the Israelis Air Force or the United States Air Force. So their strength is the missiles, and asking them to limit their missile ranges or to stop whatever missile program is like to asking them, hey, just surrender us and let's come in to strike you at will without having the capability to stop us. That's simply what is being said here. And if you check through the histories of the Persians and Iran today, you would understand that these guys are really prideful people, and they're not people you're just going to ask to do something against their own freedom because you want some kind of peace or what you call it. And mind you, Iran has not attacked no nations for the past almost for 4 decades and counting. No nations at all. And Israelis have continued to be the ones that have gone through different places and to attack different other sovereign nations for their own security. I mean, if for any reason anyone fears that they're going to be attacked and we take our preemptive strike on everyone, I think the whole world will be in chaos. Yes, Israel continue to act on impulse and on fear that on fear that they would be attacked, and they just go ahead and strike different nation without paying no respect for their sovereignty at all. It's a mess. It's a mess. And asking Iran to give away its ballistic missile, you're asking it to do the same thing so that the same thing that happened to Libya or Syria would happen to it. That's simply what is being said to Iran. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And from all that is been, and Iran is not going in alone in this. It has the cooperation of the Chinese and Russia. We already know a lot of equipment have been delivered to Iran. It's not going to be a cakewalk for the United States. It's not going to be a cakewalk. And for the last couple of days and hours, Chinese have been really busy. They've been really busy with the satellites, taking photographs of all that's happening in all the US air bases across the region, all the things that are the assets that are coming in and what is going out of it. You know, it sounds valuable information. And that's just what we're seeing in the open. We really don't know what's happening in behind the scene. So we don't know the intelligence that are being shared to the Iranians. It's going to be a different ball game, much different than what happened in the 12-day war. So we just have to keep our hands crossed. What's going to happen, we really don't know for now, but it's really going to be something really big. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and see you in the next video.